Just really standing briefly to meet you all on behalf of Mana Whenua, the people of Otako and Puketaraki, just to acknowledge this significant event. So, Rauraka tera mā, e taua mai o paua mā, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoura. Mori ora ki a tātou.
Ena mana, ena reo, e ra rangatira mā tēnā koutou katoa. Peter, thank you for acknowledging this occasion. The Minister of Health, the Honourable Dr. David Clark, the Honourable Claire Curran, the Chair of the Southern Partnership Group, Pete Hodgson, colleagues from the University, from the Polytechnic, the wider Dunedin community, and from Southern DHB. As Commissioner, I'm delighted to welcome you all this morning to the foyer of Dunedin Hospital. And today is one of those days that we have all been waiting for, when we hear about a significant development in our journey towards a new Dunedin Hospital. We were excited by the announcement last August that the decision had been made to build an entirely new hospital, and we're excited today to be taking further significant steps towards that objective. And the reasons are pretty obvious. Our current buildings, and in particular the clinical services building, which is behind us, are no longer fit for purpose. Our patients deserve to be cared for in better facilities, and our staff deserve to work in better spaces. So I want to acknowledge our staff, including our building and property team, for the lengths that they go to ensure that in circumstances that are often challenging, our patients receive the best possible care and that our facilities work as well as they can. But the importance of the new hospital extends far beyond the walls of the building. It has provided the opportunity for us to rethink how we deliver care across the district. For example, how will we best support our people who have long-term conditions, or who need urgent care, or who live at some distance from our cities? We have been given an extraordinary opportunity to start with a clean sheet of paper and plan the healthcare system we really need to serve our communities for generations to come. So we are starting to put in place now the changes that are needed to primary and community care to support more flexible, accessible and coordinated care. And so today is another step towards that transformation. I want to acknowledge Pete Hodgson for his work as the Chair of the Southern Partnership Group, and in particular his role in facilitating local input through the local advisory group. This project impacts us all. It belongs to us all, and its benefits will best be realised when we harness the passion and collaborative efforts of the whole community. This includes our partners in education, the University of Otago and Otago Polytechnic, with whom we have long enjoyed a close and symbiotic relationship, and our partners in the city, who are committed to building strong communities in which our well-being is supported. So yes, a Dunedin hospital, a new Dunedin hospital, will be of benefit to the residents of Dunedin City, but it will also benefit the wider southern community because of the specialist services delivered in this base hospital. So I want to acknowledge our clinical leadership group and its chair, Dr. David Perez, for ensuring that the steps that we take are informed by what is best for our patients. And so I acknowledge all our healthcare partners across the district, including in primary care, aged care facilities and our rural hospitals, who collectively work with us to provide the healthcare our people need. Minister, we look forward to now hearing from you as to the next important step in our journey towards the hospital that's needed in Dunedin.
Te hei Māori ora, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Ki te atua me whakakororia tōna ingoa I ngā wā katoa, ki te whare nei, te whare hauora, tēnā koe. Tēnā koutou I o tātou tine mate, haere, haere, haere atura. Apti hono, tātai hono, I te iwi, tēnā koutou, ki ngā tangata whenua, I ngā waka, I ngā reo, I ngā mana. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. I am David Clark and I am your Health Minister, and I'm absolutely delighted to be here today. Thank you, Peter, for the introduction, and Kathy for setting the scene for the announcement today. We have had a long journey. Before we get any further, I just want to first acknowledge the Honourable Claire Curran, who was unable to be here today. She wanted her apologies noted. She has a conflicting engagement, and the Mayor also. But I also want to acknowledge all of you who are here. The people in this room are actually the people that have made this journey possible, and that goes right across from those who are in the nuts and bolts planning, on the SPG, in the local advisory group, and through to the staff who have been working in a stretched and stressed environment, I think we can say, for a long time. It is challenging working in outdated facilities, and you do an amazing job, and I was really thrilled to hear Kathy acknowledge that. There is an amazing staff here, and the public of Dunedin really appreciate what you do while we were sorting out this hospital. This government believes that all New Zealanders should get the healthcare they need when they need it. Dunedin Hospital serves around 300,000 people across a geographic area twice the size of Belgium. And when we take that into account and think about the 50-year-old clinical services building that, you know, is on record as leaking sometimes when it rains, with the asbestos in the buildings and so on, there is no doubt that we need to upgrade the buildings. The other buildings on the site are uneconomic to repair, and the seismic rating on them makes it clear to us that we need to take action and get on with the job of rebuilding the hospital. We have committed to getting rid of the public-private partnership model. As a government, we put in the haifu, the half-yearly economic fiscal update, for those of you who are not regular readers, there's $42 billion set aside over the next 5 years for capital projects. We have the money to get on with major projects and the kinds of things that we know the public need and expect. So we've said we don't need private money in this particular operation. That will cause delays, and as Mayor Sadiq Khan in London has said, it's a millstone. Their private partnership hospital are a millstone around the neck of Londoners. They can go wrong. They require a lot of extra planning, and we've decided we need to get on in the situation that's pressing here, just to get on and build the hospital, and so that's what we're going to do. We committed to a central city site, and the site I will announce today will not be Wakarī, despite the many suggestions that might be an amusing thing to do. The approach that we've taken will mean that Dunedin will have a new hospital as soon as possible, and the taxpayer will get the best value for money. Avoiding further delay will minimise costs and mean that patients get better care more quickly. As opposition spokesperson, and in my role as a local MP, I first became concerned about delays in the rebuild in 2014. That's not when the planning started, that's not when the talk started, that's when I was concerned about delays. So that is one of the reasons why it is such an absolute pleasure to be here today to announce some progress. We have plenty of buildings across the country that need replacing. This hospital is one that certainly needs to be replaced. It's not the only one, but it's a pretty good example of one that we need to get on and rebuild. So this government, which believes in the value of publicly delivered health services, will keep the public patient front and centre and rebuild public healthcare facilities for the good of the whole population. And therefore, without further ado, I would like to announce the site, congratulate the media who got very close to the final site, and my lovely assistant Pete Hodgson will unveil the maps in there for people to look at in a minute. And once I've announced the site, I'm happy to take a few questions, which I'm sure there will be many. I won't be able to answer all of them, but we'll have a crack at some of them. So the site that has been selected is the Cadbury block, the block immediately north, which we call the Wilson's block, and a little car park over toward the railway station, which will be a part of the Cadbury's purchase. That is the site. So now I'm open to taking some questions. Thanks very much, everybody. Which current businesses will be affected? The answer is kind of obvious. It's the ones on the Cadbury site and the ones on the Wilson parking site. Pete, would you like to elaborate on that? Pete, can I introduce Pete Hodgson, who will be known, I think, to many, if not most of you, who has been driving the work on the ground to ensure that we get this progress that we need to get on urgently with the rebuild. Pete.
Good morning, everybody. There are 8 owners on the Wilson's site. That's not businesses, that's land owners, all of whom have been contacted, most of whom have been contacted only very recently. As far as the businesses are concerned, the businesses will still be open tomorrow and next week and next month, because there is a period of time taken to secure the land, and that period of time will be when the businesses can start to think through what their relocation plans might look like, and there will be a different story for every business. The process is under the Public Works Act, but need not necessarily involve compulsory acquisition, and hopefully will not.
Will construction begin this term?
Yes. Construction will begin this term. We're committed to getting the rebuild underway.
And you've left out the cost. What are we budgeting here?
Well, the previous cost estimates were over $1 billion. I want to stress they were obviously early estimates, and we're going to now work through a process with a detailed business case and so on that will refine those costs, and we'll know further down the track what the costs will be.
Do you have an estimated cost, how much it's going to buy that Mondelez block, Cadbury block?
The exact, I think it's
we know
probably
exactly
commercial in
what it
confidence. Yeah, we know what it is, but we can't say that today.
How much of the Cadbury site are you looking at?
The entire site, including the car park across the road.
Everything but the old dairy.
The current purchase site is still in final negotiation. I'll hand over to Pete to explain the intricacies.
So we are in negotiations to buy the entire site, including the old dairy, and those negotiations are not yet concluded but are well advanced. And the price has been determined.
So if you bought the old dairy, that means Mondelez completely exited from Dunedin, is that right?
So Mondelez has made an announcement this morning about Cadbury World, and it's for them to discuss that. I wouldn't be surprised if they were to say that the difficulty of running a tourism operation against a construction site for many years was one of the things that they had in mind when they made their consideration as to the future of that site.
Yep.
When do you envisage work will start?
Well, we've said before the election, so before the election is your answer. Yeah.
Is there a time frame for completion of the construction?
Our best estimate at this stage is 2026. You know, as we do the further scoping that you'd expect to do in a detailed business case, the exact end date will become clearer. No changes to Waiparie Hospital at this stage. The site, you'll appreciate, is big enough that in future, if we wanted to shift mental health services to the site, we could. If we wanted to shift the oncology services following on when that building expires, we could. If we wanted to put primary care on there, we could. If we wanted to have a partnership with the university to look at the research, we could. That's one of the reasons why we've chosen to go over the bigger site. It gives us plenty of options.